Good evening, everyone. How are you doing this evening? My name is Rich Hazer. I'm the proud principal here at Pequannock Township High School, and I'd like to welcome you to our new student and grade 9 orientation. I know some of you may have students that are coming in grades 10, 11, and 12, so welcome. I'm going to give you kind of a brief overview of what we did this morning with our new students. We should be here probably about a half hour or so. I know it's a busy summer schedule, and we'll spend as much time as you want after. If you want to go on some tours, we'll take you around the school. If you have a copy of your child's schedule and you want to go through it, we can certainly do that for you. But really tonight is to get you as parents acclimated to the expectations that we have for your children, to kind of hear the message that we gave them today, so that we were having conversations about it, how today went, and they came home and said, it was okay. You'll get a little bit more than that. Okay? So feel free to ask us as many questions as you want. We're ready to handle anything at this point, regardless of your child's grade level. I know some of it is going to be, most of it is going to be geared towards the grade 9 students, but we're happy to answer any questions. I'd also like to welcome some of our parents who are here for our Share Time at Health Academy. So thank you for being here. I know it's a unique situation having children go to their home school and then come here for half a day. So it's really an exciting time for them. I had a chance to talk with them a little bit today, and I know they're excited about the program. So welcome to you as well. So I thought I'd start off a little bit, just kind of sharing with you what our high school is all about. So this was a video that was done by our kids about the high school. It's about a minute long. Pequannock Township High School, a place that feels like home, a place for opportunity, where passion meets purpose. From the moment you step on campus, an incredible sense of school spirit greets you. Whether it's the thrill of our sporting events, the loud student sections, or the excitement of pep rallies, there's a unique energy that brings us all together. Our sports teams aren't just about winning, they're about resilience and growth. Each challenge faced builds friendship and character. Beyond athletics, our activities and classrooms ignite creativity, collaboration, and challenge. Students explore their interests, develop skills, and make lasting connections. The supportive spirit amongst our students, staff, and parents truly makes it a place to remember for past, present, and future students. PTHS is not just a home, it's a family. Together we support one another, celebrating achievements and pushing boundaries. At PTHS, it's not just what you know, it's who you become. Are you ready to be part of something bigger? Let's go, Panthers. So this was a video that was done by our students. They wrote the script. They basically did everything for it. And it was a testament to them, because I think really they came to me with an idea, and they said, Mr. Hazer, we want to be able to showcase our school for students that are coming here. They wrote a script for me. I just, it was me there. They wrote that whole thing. And when you heard things like family, and pride, and purpose, and excellence, that's what I want for your children when they come here. Right? I want them to come into the school knowing that they're going to be safe, they're going to be supported, and they're going to be encouraged to push themselves beyond what they think is possible. And so tonight we're going to talk a little bit about what that means. And I start off almost every presentation that I give with this quote. Whether it's with the students or with the parents. It's from my favorite book, The Lord of the Rings. I asked how many kids have read the book or seen the movie, and I had like 3 hands go up. So that means that I'm old, and that movie's been out now for a while, but I said you gotta go home and watch it. Right? It's a great trilogy to watch, but really it's about a story, a movie about a guy Frodo who goes out on a journey, right? An unexpected one. And you never know where you're going to be swept off to. And when I spoke to the students today, I said, you're coming in here with a clean slate. Doesn't matter what your grades were, doesn't matter what happened in middle school, this is an opportunity for you to be who you want to be. There's going to be kids that are sitting in this room that you don't know that are going to be your best friends. And you're going to create memories with them that are going to last a lifetime. And I'll give you an example of that. At the end of the day, I had somebody from the class of 1970 come here today and ask for a tour. He said, this is on my bucket list before I go, and I need to see the high school band. He came in here, and he walked the halls, and he sat in the classrooms. I took him out on the athletic field, and he started crying. He met with our volleyball team in the gym, and he said to them, you don't know what this place means to me. And the memories that I have from my childhood when I walk in here. Don't take advantage of everything you have in this place. The kids stood there, they were like, I didn't ask him to say it, it just came from his heart. right? And then we went out to the Veterans Wall, and I showed him pictures of his classmates that were on the wall. And as he left, he's like, I need a picture in front of this building. You know, and that just spoke to me about what this place does mean to people. For those of you that don't know, I have a senior. I live in this town. My son is a senior. My daughter's a sophomore. So I look at your kids as my own. Okay? And I would want them to come to a school where they are going to feel supported and encouraged and pushed. Okay? And sometimes in an uncomfortable way where they're going to be asked to do things, take subjects, and do things that they may not be comfortable with. And that's stepping outside your comfort zone. Sometimes that's where the magic happens. And I've seen so many students succeed, where they walk in and say, oh, I don't want to be involved in the marching band, or I don't want to do student council, and then they end up being our president, or they end up being in the marching band and trying new things. You know, so it really speaks to the climate and culture that has been created here at the high school. So today, and this is probably how some of you are feeling right now, right? We get into the kindergarten phase, we're taking pictures, and we're at the point where it's like, okay, kids, you need to go back to school, right? You've been sleep until 10 o'clock, and hanging out, staying up late, and it's time to get back into those routines. So I know, my kids, they may not be super excited to go back, but they're ready, and they understand that this is something that needs to happen as part of their growing up. And it struck me today as I watched many of the kids I've coached, my whole life living in Pequannock, and they're standing up here talking about going off to college, and I don't even want to think about my son not being home and going to school, because it's been fun to watch them grow up. But high school is the next chapter for many of your students, and it's going to be a really exciting time for them. So this was them today, right? So on the left, this was a big group picture that we took at the end of the day, and then we came down to the hall, we got together in a big huddle, right, and talked about what it meant to be a Golden Panther. They were a little uncomfortable, right? And that's part of the goal, right? To push them to do something a little bit different. But we're also one family, and we're going to work really hard together to have a great, great year. Down on the bottom left there, we sat with some students who listened to a student panel. The students and our peer leaders in our National Honor Society talked about what it was like, the experiences that they had, and really wish they knew when they were freshmen, right? And giving them, the kids, some really solid advice. All of the students, the second picture there, all of our students got to meet their individual guidance counselors. They sat with the counselors sat with all of their students, just so that there was a face to a name, right? And so that when they come in, they know that there's somebody there to support them. We had Miss Basilone here in the third picture. She's our student assistance counselor. She provided a presentation on making the transition to high school and things that you can expect about yourself, and that it's okay to be nervous, it's okay to be anxious, it's okay to be excited. What do you do when you have those feelings, right? If you haven't experienced them before. So she really gave some good pointers to the kids about things that they may experience as high schoolers, and things to look out for. And then lastly, we went on some tours. So our peer leaders gave tours to all the kids. Our allied health students, they got to meet our supervisor and go through the program. So they were seeing school for the first time as well. So it was really an exciting day for our kids as they went through the process. But they're surrounded by a great team. And I am very, very fortunate to have the opportunity to work with the people on my left. Ms. Jen Milner is our assistant principal. Mr. Brian Silipina is our athletic director. We've been together now, this is our 7th year together. I think we are the longest tenured administrative team possibly in Pequannock history, which is really, it's exciting for us. But I hope that it shows you the consistency that we have. We pretty much finish each other's sentences and know exactly what we need to do to help kids succeed. And it really makes for an easier time throughout our days. And we do enjoy each other. So we don't just hang out here, we also hang out outside of this place, which is nice. And then we have a great supervisor team. They were here today helping the students out throughout the year. You may have conversations with them related to content. They are working with our teachers, working on curriculum and instruction, and they're in and out of classrooms. Mr. Foglio is our Director of Special Services. He's responsible for our special ed program and our school counseling program, so he oversees that. And then Mr. Shea is our Chief Technology Officer, so he manages all the technology in our building. I had the students talk about our school theme this year. Every year we ground our vision in the theme, and it's developed by our teachers at the end of each calendar year. And what we really wanted to focus on this year was goal setting. Individual student goal setting, class goal setting, and then ultimately school goal setting. And we talked about the horizon, right, and what that means. And so we put it together, we came up with the slogan, Chase Your Horizon. And I think that speaks to, when I think about the horizon, I think of when I'm sitting on the beach, right, relaxing, and I see the ocean, and I see the sky meet. What's out there? How do I get there? Right? How do I push myself, right, to go a little bit further so that I can see? And that's really for us what we're going to focus on. We're going to set individual goals, and then we're going to push a little bit further and see how far we can really go together and as individuals in the classroom. And our students spoke to that today on our panel. All the advice that they gave the students was, don't just settle for average. Try to get 1% better every day. And I thought that was a great thing that one of the students said. Continue to push yourself. Maybe right now you're taking all academic classes, and then sophomore year you push yourself to take one honors class. Or maybe you're taking honors classes this year as a freshman. Try an AP class. Or maybe you're in the Allied Health Academy, and it's taking an internship in the summertime or in the winter, right, to give yourself more experience. Whatever age your child is at right now, it's important that they do try something new. And so that's really what Chase Your Horizon means. And I had them take out their phones, I had a QR code, and they went in and they typed it out. And we created a pad which is kind of it's a tech tool that we use, where the kids, it looks like Post-it notes, right? And all the Post-it notes came up on the screen. We talked a little bit about what those things meant as we went along. And there were some really, really good responses that the kids came up with. And so throughout the course of the year, and actually in the first couple of days of school, the teachers are going to be setting goals for the kids. So they will have Chase Your Horizon statements that they can put in their notebooks and keep in their classrooms and see every day as a visualization of how we're going to succeed. And here's kind of the acronym that we're going to use for that. You'll see it throughout the school posters, that we created posters here, but it's really about creating your vision, holding on to purpose, right? Remembering your why and what motivates you, acting with intention, staying the course when things get hard, and then evolving and growing with those challenges and embracing the change that high school brings. I did not draw that. That is the value of AI today, right? So as we go, that is something we talk about evolving and growing. It's something that we're addressing here at the high school, right? How is artificial intelligence affecting the way that we learn? It was amazing when I typed in, give me a golden panther staring at the sun, right? Or give me a horizon. And combine these things, that's what it came up with. So really amazing stuff that can get done. So in regards to our team, not just our administrative team, we also have members of our Home and School Association. So I'd like to welcome up our HSA president. Come on up. Ms. Labiani. She's going to talk with you a little bit about our PTHS Home and School Association.
I don't do public speaking. I just speak all day on so welcome everybody. I feel like this was yesterday when I was sitting in the same room. My name is Diana Labiani, and I am the co-president of the HSA. My daughter is an incoming junior this year. Time just flew, so he's not lying when he says that in 2 years, 3 years, the blink of an eye will be done here. So who is the HSA? The HSA really is all of us, right? Us parents, our involvement is super important. I'm sure you're all familiar with HSAs in the middle school and the elementary schools. Pretty much the same. You may have seen and received an email from Mr. Hasler about the dues that are paid each year. So each family, not per child, so if you have multiple children, you just pay one fee, $25 per year. By you paying that fee, you are part of the HSA. I will encourage you to look at the s'mores newsletters that Mr. Hasler sends out every Friday. All of our information is usually on there. I know sometimes it can be a little long, but please just read everything that's there. It's really important messages. We do fundraisers, so that's really the who is HSA, right? We do have a board. I'm part of that board. We are looking for some additional volunteers. We do have some positions on the board that are open, so if you are interested, I guarantee you will not be more than a couple hours per month. I promise. Trust me. We are looking for a vice president, a treasurer, and secretary. So if you're interested, please feel free to reach out to me. I'll give you the website in a second. So what do we do? So what does the HSA do? We really just support a lot of different events. So we not only support our students, the faculty, but really just all of us, right? The whole community. So we do have a couple of events that are coming up. One of the events will be the back to school breakfast for the staff and faculty. They all know it happens each year, so you will be seeing some emails with us just kind of requesting some assistance with volunteers and things that you may be able to donate. We also have some bigger events, right, such as the senior picnic. So when your kids might be next year, there's a beautiful senior picnic that is done right before graduation. They get to enjoy outside, have burgers. We consider the big events. There's a lot of planning involved, but this doesn't happen every day, right? The most important thing I would say is, where does this money go to? It really goes, most of it goes towards scholarships. So this past year, we were able to grant 15 scholarships, or 15 students received scholarships from us. The goal is to continue to increase that number going forward, and this is where a lot of our fundraising events go to. We do have a clothing drive, still trying to confirm the date, probably October 11th, October 18th, so you can, as you start to clean out your closets, you can start putting them on the side. Quick drop off, we have volunteers, some of the students just volunteer to take it over your car, you don't even have to get out. So I'll just ask you to please help support that. I decided this whole time I'm talking here. Okay, well, I think I just covered everything else. We do cover the dollar for scholarship and also speakers, right? So Mr. Hazler really likes to bring speakers and talk to the kids about drugs and some other important issues that I think we all can relate to. We do help support that as well. So again, if you want to volunteer, please see me. If not, everything is on there. But you can either, if you need to pay your dues, so you have any questions about volunteering, you can always email us. You can go to our website. So it's PTHS.org. And I clearly don't know Facebook. Hold on. I don't know the Facebook. You can follow us at Pequannock Township High School HSA. And then Instagram is PTHS plus HSA. If you have any questions, feel free to say me on still here, or you can email us at pauls@pthshsa.org. That was my short version. Thanks, everybody, and welcome.
I think you give yourself enough credit for being a good public speaker. So our HSA is critically important. So thank you ahead of time for your cooperation in being involved in that. For our guidance counselors, our kids got to meet their guidance team today. So if you look up on the screen here, I'll go back to their pictures so you can see their faces. But your child's guidance counselor, just follow their last name, even in our Alley Health Academy. So this would be your child's guidance counselor, regardless of what grade they're in. So they had an opportunity to meet their guidance counselors today. So these are their faces, so that you can get familiar with them. They'll be available on back to school night. I strongly encourage you to reach out to them if you haven't already, just to say hello to your child's guidance counselor. They'll send letters home at the start of the school year. But if you've never used your child's guidance counselor, the high school is really, really important to do so. Okay? They start off freshman year talking with your child about what goals and aspirations they have. They'll be meeting with them probably around October, even end of September, just to check in, see how things are going in the first month. And then they'll meet with them pretty consistently throughout their 4 years. So don't hesitate to send them an email, phone call, whatever it may be. They'll get back to you right away. Mr. Kopp is our work-based learning and academy coordinator, so if you are involved in any of our academies, Mr. Kopp will be working with those teachers. He organizes all the guest speakers. And then for our seniors who are involved in our work-based learning, they can have the opportunity to come to school for half a day and then go out to work for half a day. So that's something where, that's what you're really pushing for, and they want to do an internship or they have a job that they're going to continue with after high school. That would be something that your child may want to think about as they go through the 4 years of high school. So ultimately, I showed the students this picture because this is really what we're trying to create here at the high school. Right? We want it to be a place where kids are excited to be. And if you look at this picture, ask the kids, besides the orange, what do you see up there? All the kids are smiling. It was a great event. This was our Game on Gavin event. As you may know, Gavin Gray is a student in our high school who's battling leukemia. He's doing well. He's still going through treatment, but we had a big fundraiser for him. And our students have really, really taken on the mantle of supporting their classmate and their brother. And so these are our students, having a great time together. And so we focus on these 3 key areas, right? We focus on leadership, we focus on relationships, and we focus on outcomes. And the leadership, not everybody is a leader, right? But that doesn't mean that you can't lead. And so we look at communication, we look at consistency, and we look at clear expectations, right? If you're communicating, if you're consistent in being present in school, if you have clear expectations of where you want to go, I said to the kids, that's being a leader. Right? You look up here, that was our entire school taking on the mantle supporting their classmate. And they led the community, which was really exciting. The relationships, those are our last year seniors all together. Many of them are heading off to college, and really they created a really tight-knit bond. The relationships they built, not just with each other, but with the teachers, the administration, and I'm really going to miss that group, and that was them celebrating their outcome, right? They made it to the cap toss, and that's what you want. You want your kid to be right there the last day of high school with their classmates having a great time. Because it comes down to meeting your child where they are. And I said to the students, this morning, I don't care what grade you got in middle school, right? I want you to come here and be the best person that you can be. Our teachers are going to meet you where you're at, okay? And if that's, coming in here and you're struggling with math, that's okay. If you're coming in here and science is your thing, we're going to push you as far as you can go in science. And we're going to cultivate that growth mindset with students. My wife is a math teacher, and if I told her that I didn't like math, I'd be in big trouble, right? And so it's working on understanding that I can still, at 47 years old, I can still learn math and be confident in it. It's purposeful, relevant learning. Challenge your teachers. Why do I need to know this? Why is this important? And I expect us to be transparent. I probably will over-communicate with you. Satyani talked about my newsletters. You're going to be getting one tomorrow with all the back-to-school information in it. It's a lot, right? But I want to give you as much information as you need. So, between the newsletter and my letter, take a look at everything that you're going to see there. You're going to see a strong social media presence. If you're on Instagram, follow us at PTHS Nation. I'm already giving tips to the kids about things to get ready for the opening week. I'm sending them emails about what's going on. And then it's having that self-expression and creativity, letting the kids explore their passions. So coming off a successful school year, we were just ranked by U.S. News and World Report as a high-performing high school in New Jersey. We did a lot of great things. We had the highest AP score in the history of our high school dating back to at least 1990 that I could follow. And we had students in our freshman courses taking AP, right? Freshmen take, some students take AP World History. So our students really did a fantastic job this year. And that really comes down to, we're entering into the second year of job rotational schedule, which I'll go over with you. And it's really just having that continued patience and flexibility with the kids to get them where they need to be. Some of the things that we did this summer, we hired some new staff. We had some staff retire, we had some teachers go out on leave. So we really hired some dedicated professionals that are really, really excited to be here. They spent last week in orientation with us. They've been in setting up their classrooms. We installed all new technology in the classrooms. We have all new frontline boards. We've updated furniture in a variety of areas. This painting. We spent a lot of time in the last several years really upgrading a significant number of projects at the high school. So they worked on other schools this year, which deservingly so. We still did a lot of work here at the high school over the summer. So let's talk a little bit about the schedule. Your children should have gotten their schedules. Hopefully you were able to log into real time, right? When you look at your child's schedule, I'll just go through it with you so that if you have any questions, if they have any questions, you can help them out. So we're going to start at 8:05. What time, if you got a chance to talk to your child today, what time should they be here? Did they tell you? 7:40. Good. 7:45 I'm hearing. Excellent. Okay, so that means that they were paying attention. I'm telling you that because it's for your benefit as a parent. Okay, I know, especially if you have younger children and you're going to try and get them off to the elementary schools or to the middle school, right? We start the earliest, even though we're starting it at 8:05. No, actually, the middle school starts at 7:50, but we're starting at 8:05. But the traffic here really backs up. Okay, so Sunset Road becomes a logjam. So it's really, really important to drop off as early as possible. Students will come in, you can drop them off here in the front lot, or you can drop them off by the gym, and they're going to stand outside for a while. They socialize, they can come in, they can get breakfast if they need to. We have bagels and muffins and coffee that they can purchase and just hang out. We have a lot of students that do that, and when the bell rings, they take off. And then throughout the day, they're going to have 56-minute periods with 6 instructional periods a day. So they have 6 classes ultimately. So one class will drop out in the morning, and one class will drop out in the afternoon. And then I'll talk about the Panther period in a second. So this is what you might have seen on real time. Okay, so the way our schedule works, for those of you in education, a lot of high schools have a job rotational schedule. This was something new to Pequannock, and I know Pequannock doesn't always like change. Change is hard, but it was something that really benefited our kids. Shortened the day a little bit. We had the longest day in the county. And so our students were working incredibly hard for a long period of time. So we took a look at it and said, okay, how can we really benefit the kids to give them the same experience that they're getting, just shorten the day a little bit for them. And then we did some research on the school start time, and you're going to see pretty soon a lot of high schools, a lot are already moving, we'll be moving to a later start time. So look at this schedule. I said to the students, look at the right-hand column first, so the day A schedule. That's the schedule that they're going to be following in the first 2 days. Okay, so Thursday and Friday next week, they'll be following their all-week day. So that shows all of their periods. So if you're in an allied health class, okay, what's going to happen is you're going to be coming in, if you're in the morning, okay, and this is just for those of you in our shared time allied health, you have your first four periods. Okay, if you're in the afternoon, you'd be coming in at period 5, okay, in the schedule. So anybody in the shared time allied health program that's here this evening. For our students, okay, you're going to see that we're going to start on day 4. Why are you starting on day 4? Why are you working backwards? What's going to happen is at the end of period block 3, so for this student on day 4, they have concert choir, financial literacy, and French 2. The next day, that French 2 is going to drop. So it's whatever class they have before lunch, and at the end of the day, that class is going to drop the next day. So they're just going to follow their classes in order. So essentially, the student will have concert choir, financial literacy, and French 2 in the morning. Then they'll have world history, concert choir, financial literacy, and French drops out. Okay, and you'll see that it goes through the rotation as they go moving forward. And then the same thing in the afternoon. The student will have biology on day 4, English 1, and phys ed. Phys ed will drop out the next day, and they'll have algebra 1, biology, and English. And we just follow a rotation as we go. Probably looks confusing to a parent, okay, but the kids really get into it. So much so that they know the day mostly before we do, right? They'll come in and be like, Mr. Hayes, it's day 4 today. All right, good, because I'm running around in the morning. I do send out an email, right, and we have it on the TVs everywhere what day it's going to be. I'm sending home a daily calendar that you can put on the fridge so that you know what day it is if they ask you. But it really becomes a simple thing. So when you look at the actual schedule, this is how a rotation will work, okay, within the day. So you'll see them as periods, and they rotate through the block. So you'll see at the bottom there's that yellow period, and then you'll see that lunch is in the middle of the day. So we have 1 unit lunch where everybody eats at the same time. So most of us probably went to high school with like 4 lunch periods, right? And the lunch happened all day long. As a principal, that's tough, right? I'm basically on lunch duty for 4 periods. So we're looking at a unit lunch. We've been doing it for years, and it's fantastic. All the kids can eat with their friends. They can sit where they need to sit, get what they need to get, go for extra help. Lunch is kind of we call it controlled chaos. But the kids really do a great job. They can get up and walk around the building. So for the students that need that exercise, we've really seen a decrease in discipline in the afternoon because the kids, they will walk the halls and just talk and hang out. And it's really been a unique experience. That's where we do a lot of our club meetings. So we'll make announcements. The kids can go to their clubs, and that way they're not missing stuff after school. For the Panther period, you'll see this in yellow here. And the Panther period is an extra help period. Now, I want to emphasize this for you. And I said this to the kids. Our day ends at 3:04. Okay, the Panther period is something that students are expected to go to, but if they don't have to go, then they can leave at 2:46. So what does this mean? Okay, so your child has a test, and they don't finish it during the class period. They're going to be expected to finish it during the Panther period. Okay, that's the time that they have. If your child has an IEP or a 504 and they need extra time on an assignment, that's a great opportunity for your child to use that time. If your child is struggling in a class, the teacher might say, Johnny, I apologize if your child's name is Johnny, it's just a great name. Johnny, I'm going to keep you after school, okay, come and see me. So you may be waiting for your child to come outside, but they've been asked to stay until 3:04. Okay, so it's kind of a day-to-day thing with the kids. They may be assigned the Panther period through our hall pass system, where the teacher needs to speak with them. The guidance counselor may schedule a meeting. So plan on 3:04. Okay, that's when you're going to make your doctor's appointments, your things that you need to do. Okay, and most times kids will say, well, they'll throw you right under the bus. Dad scheduled a doctor's appointment at 2:47. Okay, well, school doesn't until 3:04. Right? So, those types of things with the Panther period, we have seen tremendous success. Right? So most of the time, kids would probably come out at 2:46. But know that 1 or 2 times a week, more than likely, and I can tell you for all grade 9 students, Friday they have the class meeting during the Panther period, so that they're not missing class time. Right? They're not going to have a long meeting. We went over things with them today, so their meeting will probably be about 20 minutes. So I'm going to call them down during the Panther period, so they're not missing any class instruction on those first couple of days. So it's really been effective, and this came from conversations with parents. This came with conversations from our staff about how we can provide more support for our kids. If your child's an athlete or staying after school for activities, this is a study hall for them. So they'll meet their coach in the cafeteria or in the team room, and they're doing work. They're getting work done in whatever they've done in 20 minutes or so. They're doing study sessions. They're going to see teachers before they get on the bus and go to the game. So I strongly encourage you to tell your child to take advantage of the Panther period, whether they're assigned it or not. And the same thing for the lunch block. The teachers will be available during lunch blocks at least one time during the rotation. So Mrs. Taser, who's a math teacher, on day 3, she's always available. So if you're having a test on the next day, you can go see Mrs. Taser during the lunch block for extra help. So we're really trying to provide students, especially our upperclassmen, who are working after school, taking care of, picking up their siblings. It gives them an opportunity to get some extra help from their teachers. And for our teachers, as much as I want my teachers, and I would love to say, hey, all my teachers are staying after school, but they have lives too, right? And so this gives them some freedom to give the extra help without feeling guilty about running out, right? They have the time built into their day so that they can provide that extra support for the students. This is instructional time for them. And then the same thing for our lunch support. Is there any questions on the Panther period or that lunch block? Okay. Yes? So are they allowed to bring in lunch from outside? The answer to that is no. Does it happen? No. They should not be door dashing food, coffees in the morning. We didn't have that stuff when we went to school. It is amazing how many students in the morning have time to get Dunkin' or run to Starbucks and are running in here to class. Right? So when Ms. Miller talks about tardiness, we don't take excuses when you're 2 minutes late. Can you let me in? And they got 5 coffees for their classmates. So we really encourage you to bring lunch. If you're going to bring it, we're not ordering pizza because it's our birthday and we get pizza delivered to the high school. Right? Those are things that we don't allow.
The reason for the Uber Eats and things like that, it's a safety issue. We don't know who these people are. If you need to bring lunch to your child and drop it off before the lunchtime so they can get it at lunch, that's a different issue. Of course you can do that. Drop it off, have their name on it, they'll come down to the kiosk here in the front and they'll get it. But anything with Uber Eats and deliveries and things, no, because it is we don't know who these people are. And we're letting them come in with bags of food. We don't know anything about them. So that's why it's a no.
From an academic perspective, if you remember going through your high school career, right? Grade point average matters, and it starts really in your freshman year. Knowing now, and my son applying to colleges, they're really looking at your freshman, sophomore, and junior year, and maybe the first marking period of your senior year. So that freshman year is really, really important to start off with as strong grades as possible. You can always bring your grades up, but it's much easier to start off strong than it is to start off not doing so hot and trying to build yourself up. Right? So it's doing homework, right? And we do give homework here at the high school. It's studying for tests and quizzes. Mom, Dad, you ask what they have for homework, nothing, and then all of a sudden they have a test the next day. It's really important that you're following along on real time to make sure that your child's doing what they need to do. And sometimes you have to let them fail, right? And that's a struggle too as a parent. Sometimes they need that tough love where it's like, listen, you're gonna have to do this on your own, right? I'll be here to support you, but sometimes they do need to see that in building that responsibility that it is on them to learn and grow. So I talk to the students about all of these things, meeting with your teachers, being present, which Ms. Miller talked about with them, attendance, and kind of developing that growth mindset. I didn't talk about this with them, but just to show you, with their graduation requirements. So they do, all students in the freshman level have English, math, science, social studies, world language, phys ed, and they will have their financial literacy and contemporary business information technology, which really focuses on study habits and skills with them. And then they'll take visual and performing arts and 21st century careers at some point during their high school career. But you'll see, the only really classes that they have to take for 4 years are English and Phys Ed. From a grading perspective, how do we grade at the high school? So we grade on a point system. So when you look at real time, you'll see a test might be worth 100 points. Okay, and your child gets an 85. There's a 25-point quiz, there's a 10-point concept check. There's going to be 10 to 15 grades per marking period. That'll all add up, and the math is what it is. So if this child got 113 out of 135 points, they ended up with a B for the marking period. So when you look at a child's and you go onto their real-time account, you'll see point values listed for assignments. The expectation is that teachers are grading on a regular basis. So if you see an assignment that doesn't have a grade in it, make sure you reach out to the teacher and find out, why the grade hasn't been posted. Maybe they're waiting, and your child didn't finish the test or whatever it may be. Most of the time they'll have a note as to why there's no grade there. But if you don't see something, just please reach out to the teacher. So when you look at the marking periods, that's how it breaks down. So we do have final exams at the end of the year, particularly in the grade 9. It's the first time that they're going to have one. So we work with them on that, how to study. That's going to be at the end of the year. But all the marking periods have an equal value, with the final exam being 10% of their final grade. So let's talk a little bit about the most important day, the important time of the day. So I'm going to turn this over to Mrs. Miller, and she's going to talk about lunch.
So hi everyone, welcome to tonight. I am an alumni of PTHS. We always say we're going to get out of here and go as far away as you can, and then we all start coming back. We've all been through our own children coming to high school. In elementary, the students tell us everything when they come home. We did this, we did that. Then all of a sudden middle school gets a little quieter. How was school? Great. Would you nothing, as Mr. Hazer said. Then high school comes. So this is when your students might really need the help, but they might not ask you. So high school would be the time we are asking for your background help, that you are staying on top of things with real time, that you're guiding your students as they make their own decisions and use that good judgment. You've been teaching them good judgment all along. So now high school is when they're going to put it into play. So I do ask, as we talk about anything, the academics, the sports, the timeliness, friendships, social aspects, they do still need your guidance. As much as they say nothing's happening, I'm good, it's all fine. I wouldn't mind if you're sneaking on the real-time portal and checking it out, just so that you have some knowledge so when they come home, you know what might have happened that day. You might know what to ask them. Sometimes you need to ask them those guided questions so that they give you more information. They're not necessarily going to come out and tell you everything. So one of the things that we do encourage with the social aspect is the unit lunch, which is really great. Years ago, as Mr. Hazer said, you might have experienced different classes had different lunches at different times. And then students get nervous when they come to school. Oh, I don't know if my friend has the same lunch. I'm going to be by myself. I won't know anybody. Everybody has lunch at the same time. It's great. Now, it might seem like, oh my gosh, we're all getting lunch at the same time. It works. In the cafeteria here, they can get lunch here. They get lunch down in the small gym. Okay, there's different varieties, different foods. If they don't like what's in the small gym, they can walk down to the cafeteria and they can grab something there. But they get to choose where they sit. They don't have to stay in the same tables the whole year. They can swap it around either as friends change or sports change or anything else. All the teachers have lunch or that availability or a unit or a lunchtime pastime where the students can come see them. So everything is available to them at that lunchtime. And they get to roam the circle right here. So in that circle, you have guidance. You have the library. You have the nurse. You have the main office. You have IT. Everything is in that circle. So whatever they need, they do have access to it during lunch. So it's a really great thing. And then we have teachers that are monitoring different sections of the building. That's when they can use the bathroom. And as Mr. Hazer said, that's where they get their energy out. If you stand in one spot, you will see that same group probably come around 15 times. And it's good because they get to walk and talk and kind of let off some steam, let off some energy. It's really, really a great time. And it is controlled chaos. And I don't even know if I would use the word chaos. At some point in the year, none of us could be standing in the cafeteria and they would never know. They wouldn't even know if anybody was watching them because they just kind of follow their normal routine and do what they have to do. So it's really nice. So as for attendance, the difference with the middle school level versus the high school level is their attendance and what they call seat time in a course matters. This is part of their transcript. So they have to maintain a certain attendance record in their courses that they are taking. So for example, your math class, that's a full year course. In a full year course, they can't have more than 16 absences. And when I say that, I'm not including maybe they had the flu. If they had the flu, they will have a doctor's note, and that's considered excused absence. Okay, our seniors, or juniors, when they go for their driver's license, it's an excused absence. Okay, it's something that they have to do. Or when they go to a college visit, that's an excused absence for our grade 11 and 12 students. But we're talking about, I don't like my outfit today, I'm not going. I stayed up late for that Netflix movie that came out, maybe, Happy Gilmore 2. And we stayed up late and I'm too tired to go to school. It's those kind of unexcused absences that they cannot accumulate because they will not gain credit in that course. So real time is important for you to be going on real time, checking their attendance, because sometimes as the year goes on, you forget, oh, they had 2 days they missed in October, oh, they had a couple of days in December, oh, they had a couple. It's good to stay on top of it so you can monitor your child's attendance. So for a full year course, they can't have more than 16. For a half year course, that's half, you can't have more than 8. Phys ed is 12 because that combines with health, so 4 for health, 12 for phys ed, so that's 16 total. So you do have to keep an eye on their attendance. As for late in the morning, students, we told them today, 7:40, 7:45, which we know really means 7:50, 7:55. For you as parents, we're going to give you the first couple of days to figure it out, okay? So your student is not going to get a late pass, well, unless they show up at like 9:30, but we're not going to give them a late pass the first couple of days, okay? That'll give you some time to figure out your routine in the morning, how your drop-off is going to work in the morning, how you're getting to your job in the morning. We understand it's going to take a little wiggle room, okay? Don't tell your kids that, okay? But we're going to do that for them. But understand, if school starts at 8:05, walking in the door at 8:03 is not going to get into the classroom by 8:05. Understand that entering the parking lot at 8 o'clock when 600 other cars want to enter the parking lot, it's not going to work. Okay, so you need to juggle your time. I'm telling you, at 7:45, I may see one car, maybe another car, maybe 3 cars come at once, big deal. Okay, so that's a quiet time. So the earlier the better. When it's nice out, they stand outside. If it's raining, we bring them in here. They can also go in the cafeteria if they want to buy a breakfast. I don't want everybody in there, but if they want to buy a muffin, or maybe they brought a breakfast, some might bring, fruit or a granola bar or something, they want to sit inside and eat it, that's okay too. The lates do accumulate. Unlike anybody that went to PV, we do not reset. If you're late once in September, you're late second time in October, another time in October, and then another time in March, now you're up to 4. That 5th one in the year, the whole year, you start to get detentions. That's a deterrent. I always tell the kids, if we gave you ice cream every time you did something you're not supposed to do, you're going to keep doing it. So they receive a detention because we want to keep them from being late and possibly holding you up in the morning as well. Okay? So please make sure that they're getting dropped off in time. If something happens, the car didn't start, there was a flat tire, the younger sibling threw up as you're going out the door, send me an email or call the kiosk. Mrs. Kelly and Mrs. D'Antonis in the kiosk, they will let me know, and I will send you an email or give you a call to excuse it or do whatever we need to do. Okay? I'm not that mean. I understand things happen. Okay? But communication, just let me know. I may not always believe your child, oh yeah, I couldn't find my other shoe. I'm like, again? So I need to hear from a parent to say there was a legitimate reason, and then we can work that out. The less detentions I have to get out, the better. So I'm very happy about that. Lockers, so the students had an opportunity to find their lockers today. Some of them did really well, like opening them, because I don't even know how often they've used them. Our students since COVID, they've been good, right?
They did great.
Yeah.
They may never use them again.
I don't know.
They did great.
Since COVID, the students, they just aren't using them. And I don't know, back in my day, that's where you hung out, that's where you met, that's where you decorated, like your little mini apartment. I don't know. But they're not really using it. But you can encourage them to use it. Put their jackets in there, put their lunches in there, put their stuff that they need after school. Don't be carrying around 10 pounds on your back in a backpack all day. They do have that unit lunch, so they can take what they need in the morning, switch it up at lunch, and then take what they need for the afternoon. So do encourage them to use the lockers. I think it's better on their back. Some of them put way too much, and then some of them never clean out the book bag from September to June, just so you know. If something smells funny, it's probably the backpack. Cell phones, probably very similar to the middle school. Cell phones are not permitted to be used in class unless the teacher designates a reason. Like today, when they sat here, they did take out their cell phones to look up the QR code for what we were doing with them. But unless the teacher is saying otherwise, when they enter the room, the teacher has either the phone caddy or a box. They have something that the students have to put their phone in. They are not to be having their phone on them. So if you need to contact them, please, if you could do it during the unit lunch, would be great, because if their phone vibrates and they can't touch it, that's all they are going to think about until the end of that class. That phone, in maybe number 15, is vibrating, and they don't know what is happening in the world because they can't check their phone. So if you do need to send them a message, please do it during their unit lunch. They can respond to you. They can have their phones during lunch. It's perfectly fine. And then they will have them in the hall. So they come into the classroom, they put them in the phone caddy, and then they take them when they leave. They will be assigned a number in each classroom. All right, so we do ask, just keep the communication up. But I do know you need to communicate. You have sports, or panther periods, or things like that. Totally understand. But do it during unit lunch.
One of the things real quick I just want to add, I didn't talk to the students about it, but I will in their class meetings, about posting to social media. If you have a student who is aspiring to go to college and be an athlete, going on into, be a police officer, they're looking at that stuff, okay? They're looking at what your kids are posting. Mr. Filipina can talk about that too. When we have recruiters in for athletes, they're asking to see their social media, right, and what they're posting. So, have conversations if you're not already. If your child has social media, making sure that they're not posting or being put in pictures that they don't want, being put in postings that they don't want to be put in. And I'll spend a lot of time with them talking in their class meeting. I didn't do it today, but we'll spend time with them because we have a lot of social media that we do post, but it's something that I run right through our Instagram account, and I have social media ambassadors that are responsible for that. Right, but when it's a personal account and they're at a party, because parties do happen, I'm not ignorant, and you should be there as parents, right? These are things that are going to happen. Your kid's going to go out, right? They're going to see things that they may not want to see. Woo! People happen to me all the time. Voice is cracking that. When they're involved in a picture and the coach sees it or something happens, parent sees it, right? You want to just have them monitor, making sure you're monitoring your social media. It can be scary as a parent, right? But it's a conversation I have all the time with my kids to make sure, and I'm sure things get by me, right? But we're constantly having those conversations about making sure that you're creating a good digital footprint for yourself. Because really, the high school is where they really start to do those kinds of things.
And if your child tells you that
They're putting something on a private story, oh no, only my friends can see it. I hate to tell you, it's going to be screenshot, it's going to be shared. I've ended up with stuff coming through my email that was on somebody's private story, and I show the student, they're like, how did you get it? I said, I'm telling you, it's not private. Someone will always get it and do something with it. So do talk to them about anything that they do not want you to see, therefore should not be posted. I always tell them, would you do that if I was standing next to you, if your parent were standing next to you? And if the answer is no, it's not a good choice to do that at all. And that's how a lot of nowadays, back in the day, people would threaten somebody, beat them up, or, something more physical. Now, it's all subliminals. It's all on online chats and Snapchat and things like that. So please be very careful and do talk to your children about that. We don't want them involved in anything that they did not intend to be involved in. At this time, anybody have any questions? Or I will stay after if you have any questions about any of that fun, disciplined, tardy attendance stuff. So I'm going to turn this over now to Mr. Silvino.
Thank you, Ms. Miller. Thank you, Mr. Hazer. I'm going to work on this side of the room, change it up a little bit. So my name is Brian Silvina. I'm the proud athletic director here at the high school. I just want to tell you one thing. Your children made my day today. They were unbelievable. When they came here, I haven't stopped talking about it for 4 hours. They were so well behaved. They were wide-eyed during the presentation, focused, and they were all eager to go out, look at their schedules, work with their peer leaders, and take tours of the building. And they all opened their lockers today, which in 8 years I've never seen that before. There was like one kid that really knew it. He was going around teaching everyone how to do it. It was fantastic. So they had the opportunity to open their lockers today, and afterwards, if you do want to go try to find your child's locker and you want to attempt to open it, if you have a combination, I will be walking around the 500s. I can help you with that also. But the reason why, that was part of the reason why they made my day. The real reason why was for an answer to one simple question. And I asked your children, how many of you in here are planning on playing a sport and or joining a club as a freshman? And never in 8 years have I ever seen every single hand in the room go up until today. And it made my day. That tells me they came in eager to be a part of something. Whether it's a sport, a club, sport and a club. They're willing to try something new. Academics are very important, don't get me wrong. But it's the second piece, being involved in your school community, that makes you a well-rounded person. And it takes that high school experience to the next level. And I'm sure most of you can relate to that. So I do want to touch on, I will be brief, I promise. I'm going to touch on athletics just for a little bit. And I'm also going to touch on clubs just for a little bit. So, as the athletic director, our department philosophy is based off of educational-based athletics, which is where we use athletics as a platform to teach your children life lessons. It's very simple. Every coach that we have is absolutely fantastic, and they will teach your children the importance of perseverance, hard work, teamwork, sportsmanship, dedication, preparation. If your child plays a sport, whatever year it is, or multiple years, whatever sport it is, our coaches will get the most out of your children, I promise you. And they will compete at the highest possible level that they can. So, with sports, we do have, it is very important, the academic piece of it too. As freshmen, they're eligible to play a fall sport and a winter sport, regardless of their grades. Now, with that being said, my job and the coach's job is to make sure that we're monitoring their grades weekly, and we will meet with them at least twice during the season if they are in season, to make sure they're staying on track. That's just something that we do here. In the spring, if they decide to play a sport in the spring, that is when the actual credits come into play. So they need to be passing 15 credits in order to be eligible to play a sport in the spring. So the bottom line is, instead of trying to figure out the math on the classes they need to pass, they just need to do their best in class, get really good grades, and they'll be able to play with no problem. I have not, I'm going to jinx it. I'm going to say it anyway. No, I'm going to say it anyway. I haven't had a student ineligible in 4 years. Because they just do what they're supposed to do. They love being here. The teachers are fantastic. They keep them engaged. They have something to look forward to at the end of the day. They want to do well. They want to be part of this school community. So I don't anticipate any issues. However, it's my job to make sure if I do see something that's a borderline issue, I address it, the coaches address it. Okay? And if it's something that is important that you need to know, I will reach out. We are very transparent. So here's a list of all of our fall sports that are currently happening right now. Our winter sports signups will probably happen the beginning of October. You will get a tremendous amount of communication on that. Mr. Hayes will be sending it home in his newsletter. I will be putting it on social media. It will be on the TVs around school. We'll have them during the morning announcements. There's absolutely no way for them to miss the signups. And the spring signups are at the bottom. So sports, the spring sports are at the bottom there. So if anybody has any questions after I'm done talking, after the presentations are done, I'll be happy to meet with anyone that wants to talk about clubs or sports. But I do know that sports are not for everybody. Okay? Here is a list of extracurriculars that we provide at the high school. And I told the students today, there's something here for everyone. So we're going to just take a long look at that list and see what we have. If you have any questions about something that's up there, you can talk to me afterwards. But we really do have something for everyone. So that's it. I told you I would be brief tonight. I'm looking forward to working with each and every one of your children, and it's going to be a great year. Thank you.
We may be the only school that has a boxing club. You saw it up there. I am not a punching bag, but I do go down and Mr. Signo, he boxes. These are one of our science teachers, and he teaches kids boxing. They don't box against each other, but it's more of a physical type exercise. They're learning, strategies on boxing, it's physical fitness. They're running. It really is. It's a really neat club. So in conclusion, where can I find information? Right? If I'm a parent, where do I gather information? All the kids will have Google Classrooms. You'll get invited to them from the teachers, but sit down with your kids. They're already probably getting invited right now to Google Classrooms by their teachers. We encourage you to check real time on a daily basis. Don't Facebook it where you're on it all the time. Right? Every 2 seconds, checking your child's grade. I don't encourage that for the students either. It can really build, in a student, it can build the anxiety, right? Where they're constantly looking for that grade, or they're waiting to see that grade posted. Okay, not that there's something wrong with that, but it creates a real anxiety in a lot of students sometimes. We're constantly saying, hey, go look at your grades, go look at your grades, go look at your grades. It becomes more about the learning, right? And I really want them focused on that learning. Check your email on a regular basis. I do send out emails every Friday, usually around 3 or 4 o'clock. I will send out a newsletter for you of what happened during the week and what's coming up for the week. All of our sports schedules are posted all the time. If you go to our website, we have daily morning announcements which are posted on our website. So if your child comes home and says, I don't know where that club meets, right on our main page of the morning announcements, you'll be able to see exactly what was told to the kids. And then every student is going to be receiving a student handbook on period 1, day 1. So they'll have that for their code of conduct. We met with the kids today. All the grade 9 students at least got their Google Classroom code, so they are in. So they'll know when all the fundraising is happening for our grade 9 group. And we also talked to them about running for office. All right, for class officers, if you have a 9th grader who's interested in a leadership position or being a class rep or student council. Some of you got blue forms tonight. Those are some leftover forms that the kids didn't pick up. Our homecoming dance is really early this year. It's September 20th. So we're looking for freshmen to help with that, help set up and be there as part of student council. So we talked about the campaign process and running for office. It really builds student leadership. I meet with our student executive officers every 2 weeks. So we'll meet during unit lunch. We'll talk about what's coming up. And I want them to really learn about the student advocacy piece. It is critically important. So really, in conclusion, we're defined by these 4 things. We're defined by our academics, our leadership, our service, and our character. When you look at all these pictures up here, this is me at graduation with one of our seniors, and if you were at graduation, this is how it went. It was, every student pretty much giving me a hug, and that really meant a lot to me in terms of the relationships that we look to build with the kids. Our students down the bottom left there, they're raising money for Operation Smile, which helps children in need of palate surgery. Up top here are our AP students going down to the elementary classes and doing lessons at the end of the year. And then we have a wheelchair basketball game. One of our alumni, Jim Jeffries, he's in a wheelchair, and he brings his Brooklyn Nets professional basketball team, and they kick our butts. Our students play, our faculty plays. That's Mr. McBurney and Mr. Zumo there, Mr. Milner. And it's really a nice thing to be able to support an alumni and show students what it is to support one another. And again, this was just for when I showed the kids this could be you at graduation, right? They told me in the hallway, like, Mr. Hazer, I'm bear hugging you. I'm like, yeah, okay. And that's the picture that I have in my office. That's something that I'll always remember in terms of building relationships with these kids. So we talked a little bit with the kids. When we look at recognizing what they do, our Panther Pride acronym stands for perseverance, respect, integrity, determination, and excellence. We're going to look for students and we're going to highlight them as students of the month. And it's not just for students who are doing great in class, but students who are picking each other up, doing things in the hallway, just being a Golden Panther. So in conclusion, we're in this together. So what you can expect from us is communication, building connections, being present, and for parents, it's having realistic expectations too. What your child, and as a senior parent, this one hits me hard, right? Having realistic expectations, because you want them to have their high school experience, not your high school experience. We've all been through high school already, right? We want our children to experience it, and sometimes it's hard, sometimes it's great, sometimes it's stressful, right? But we all get through it, and it really is an exciting time for the kids. So if you ever have any questions at all about anything, don't hesitate to reach out to us. You can contact us at any time. I check my email all the time. But when you look at what we're here for, we are here for the kids. Every kid that walks into this door, okay, they're going to be greeted with a smile, they're going to be greeted with a hello, and I'm glad you're here. Every day. And that's what makes my job and our job so exciting, is that you are entrusting us with your child. And I can't tell you the pride and responsibility that I feel in that. This is an outstanding community. It's one of the reasons why I live here. Right? And so I want our students to have the most successful time that they can in the 4 years that they're here. Or in 2 years if you're just moving in, or 1 year, however long you're with us at PTHS. We want it to be a really meaningful experience. And it's a unique opportunity for me, because this is really the first class that I don't know a lot of the kids. Right? I was the principal of PE for 7 years, and I moved up with a lot of the kids. My daughter's a sophomore, so I knew a lot of those students. Right? So this is the first group that doesn't know Mr. Haesler, which is exciting for me, because then I can show them who I am. And Mrs. Miller and Mr. Silpina can show them who we are. And we're being totally genuine when we do it. So I thank you for coming out tonight. If you want to stick around, we're happy to give you a tour of the building. If you want to see your child's schedule, we're happy to answer any questions that you have. We'll be up front here. But thank you. And we're going to make it a great year as we chase our horizon together. So enjoy the last couple of days of summer. School starts next Thursday. I know you're excited. We're going to get the kids excited and be ready to go. So have a great night, everybody. Let's go Panthers.